had been wrong. But growth is not instant. Some days she slipped, some days she argued. Each time, discipline followed. Each time, she learned. One rainy evening, Charity fell sick. Fever, weakness. Mrs. Ofumanta personally brought her food. "Eat," she said softly. Charity looked at her confused. You care?" Mrs. Ofumanta smiled faintly. "Discipline without care is cruelty." Tears filled her eyes. She turned away quickly. From that day, her heart softened. She started helping others. She greeted people. She listened. Laughter returned, this time gentle, real. The proud city girl was learning village patience. She was learning that respect was earned, not forced. And though she didn't know it yet, this was only the beginning of her true transformation. Discipline, tears, and laughter. By the time Charity entered her second term at the boarding school, something inside her had shifted, though she did not yet have the right words to explain it. The sharp anger that once lived in her chest had grown quieter, like a loud radio finally turned down. It was still there sometimes, but it no longer controlled every move. The bell rang at 5 in the morning, and instead of groaning and dragging herself out of bed, Charity sat up almost immediately. She rubbed her eyes, stretched her arms, and reached for her bucket. Around her, other girls moved calmly. No rushing, no shouting. The dormitory felt different to her now. It no longer looked like a prison, it looked like a place where people shared life. As she swept the floor that morning, she caught her reflection in the window glass. Her face looked slimmer, her eyes looked clearer. She paused for a moment, staring at herself. "So, this is me now," she whispered. She almost laughed. Charity was still Charity. She still liked nice things. She still enjoyed attention. But the way she expressed herself had changed. She said please more often. She said sorry without choking on the word. The juniors no longer ran away from her. Some even greeted her cheerfully. "Good morning, Senior Charity," one small girl said one day. Charity smiled. "Good morning. Did you finish your prep?" The girl excitedly nodded. Charity felt something warm spread through her chest. It felt better than shouting. It felt better than power. Mrs. Ofumanta noticed these small changes even before Charity did. She noticed how Charity volunteered to help without being told. She noticed how she corrected others gently instead of harshly. She noticed how she stayed back after duties to help slower students. One afternoon, during inspection, Mrs. Ofumanta stopped in front of Charity's locker. She opened it slowly. Everything inside was neatly arranged. Clothes folded well, shoes aligned. She closed it and looked at Charity. "Well done." The words were simple, but they landed deeply. Charity felt her throat tighten. "Thank you, Ma," she replied softly. That night, Charity lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time, she felt something new. Not anger, not pride, awareness. She realized she had been wrong. But growth is not instant. Some days she slipped, some days she argued. Each time, discipline followed. Each time, she learned. One rainy evening, Charity fell sick. Fever, weakness. Mrs. Ofumanta personally brought her food. "Eat," she said softly. Charity looked at her confused. You care?" Mrs. Ofumanta smiled faintly. "Discipline without care is cruelty." Tears filled her eyes. She turned away quickly. From that day, her heart softened. She started helping others. She greeted people. She listened. Laughter returned, this time gentle, real. The proud city girl was learning village patience. She was learning that respect was earned, not forced. And though she didn't know it yet, this was only the beginning of her true transformation. Discipline, tears, and laughter. By the time Charity entered her, Charity hesitated. Then words poured out. "I'm tired of rules. I'm tired of pretending. I was not born for this life." Mrs. Ofumanta listened without interrupting. When Charity finished, she leaned back slightly. "Do you think discipline removes who you are?" she asked. Charity shrugged. "When water is dirty," Mrs. Ofumanta continued, "you don't throw away the pot, you wash it." Those words stayed with Charity long after she returned to her seat. The next major test came during inter-house chores week. Each house was expected to clean large sections of the school. It was stressful. Tempers rose, arguments broke out. Charity was appointed as a group leader. The old Charity would have shouted. She would have insulted people. She would have enjoyed the authority. This time, she hesitated. "Okay," she said to her group, "let's finish this together so we can rest." Some girls looked surprised. A junior whispered, "Is this Charity?" Work started slowly. A junior spilled water by mistake. Another girl snapped at her. Charity stepped in. "It's okay," she said. "Let's clean it and move on." That moment changed something. The group worked harder. Laughter followed. Even jokes flew around. "Remember when Auntie nearly fainted because of soap smell?" one girl joked. Charity laughed. Real laughter, the kind that came from peace, not mockery. They finished early. Mrs. Ofomanta came to inspect and nodded approvingly. "You handled them well," she said. Charity smiled shyly. But not everyone was happy about Charity's change. A senior girl named Blessing watched her closely. Blessing had enjoyed being feared before Charity arrived. Now, Charity's quiet respect was drawing attention. One afternoon, Blessing cornered Charity behind the dormitory. "You think you are special now?" Blessing sneered. Charity took a deep breath. "I'm just trying to do better." Blessing laughed. "You think acting humble will save you?" Charity said nothing. She walked away. Blessing spread rumors. She mocked Charity openly. One day, she poured water on Charity's bed. The old Charity would have fought. She would have screamed. This time, she stood still, her hands shaking. Mrs. Ofomanta was informed. Both girls were called. Blessing expected Charity to lash out. Charity surprised everyone. "I don't know why she's angry," she said quietly, "but I forgive her." Silence filled the room. Mrs. Ofomanta looked at Blessing. "Anger hides pain," she said. Blessing broke down crying. The story came out. Pressure, fear, jealousy. That day, Charity learned something powerful. Kindness could disarm even the hardest heart. As months passed, Charity's academic performance improved. She asked questions, she studied, she failed sometimes, but she tried again. When holiday approached, Charity felt mixed emotions. Excitement, fear. Would her parents recognize this new version of her? The day they arrived to pick her up, Charity stood straight, her bag packed neatly. Mrs. Okore stepped out of the car and froze. "Is that my daughter?" she whispered. Charity smiled and walked toward her. "Good afternoon, Mommy," she said clearly. Mrs. Okore hugged her tightly, tears flowing freely. Mr. Okore watched quietly, his eyes wet. On the drive home, Charity talked about